In every heart, the dream ignites. With strength and skill, we reach new heights. From playgrounds wide to fields of gold, sports champs mission thrives for Olympic gold. Across the land, young spirits rise, with dreams to chase beneath the skies. Through sports education we will inspire, harnessing passion, igniting the fire. From cricket pitches to football grounds, in every swing determination resounds. Guiding hands, we pave the way to nurture talent, come what may. In every heart, the dream ignites. With strength and skill, we reach new heights. From playgrounds wide to fields of gold, sports champs mission thrives for Olympic gold.
Welcome to Sports Champ Khel Insight channel, ma'am. Thank you for accepting our invitation for the insights of sports in schools.
Thank you so much. Namaste, Mr. Bhushan. Thank you so much for having me on this. It's in fact always been a pleasure meeting up with you and understanding how sports can become an absolutely important aspect of a child's life. So indeed, it's a pleasure.
Ma'am, when was Dhruv Global School started and what was your vision, mission to start this school?
Dhruv actually was established, this particular Dhruv, this is Dhruv Global School, Nande. This was established in June 2018. However, it's not a new establishment. The parent branch, which is at Sangamner, that today is in about 19 years plus of experience. So it has a wealth of experience behind it. And Dr. Sanjay Malpani, who is the driving force behind the Dhruv schools, he was the mentor when we started the school. It was very interesting actually when I came to see the school. It was the back of Beyond's and the building was just coming up and I thought, okay, how is this going to happen? But Dr. Malpani is a force of nature. So when he dreamt it, he made it happen. So we welcomed our first students in June 2018 and it's been an interesting journey from there. Sangamner comes with a lot of experience and there's a great emphasis on the all-round development of a child. So how we would like a child to be as a grown-up. What kind of child would we like to send to the society? That is the basic premise at which Dhruv has always worked. And it's been an interesting time. We have done so much with the children and there's been a wealth of experience that comes with all this. So, when we started the school, there was a clear-cut thought process behind it that this school has to be a school which doesn't just focus on academics. It has to be the overall development of a child, which is very, very important. So it has to give equal emphasis to academics, to sports, to performing arts, to visual arts, and the whole curriculum was designed with that in mind. The long-term process, the thought process in our mind has always been, be it Dr. Sanjay Malpani, be it Mr. Yashovardhan Malpani, or be it Ms. Anushka Malpani, who's taken over as the trustee of this institution now. It's always been to nurture students who are very confident. Our tagline, you would have noticed, it is we nurture confidence. So confidence is one thing we have always believed is very, very important for a child. Now, where does this confidence comes from? This confidence comes from being not just good in academics. That's just one part of a student's persona. But the child should be a very holistic, well-rounded personality. Be it sports, be it their creative side, that should come up. The child should be very good with life skills. Because today's child is not just going to be in this corner of the world. The child is going to be a global citizen. See, the boundaries are getting very blurred for the globe today. The child is going to be a global citizen and we wanted life skills to be very, very important over there. So we want a child who's well-rounded, who's empathetic, because today with AI's advent, empathy is the one thing which distinguishes us and makes us where we need to be. So well-rounded personality, empathetic, understanding, life skills should be very good with the child, so that the child walks into the world with confidence and feels that this world is actually my oyster. So that has been a long-term thought process, and that's how towards that is where we work towards.
Ma'am, what are the thoughts about sports development in schools, and what are the challenges which you face while developing sports at the school level?
You've been associated with us for quite some time, and you have really seen how we have taken things forward. But I definitely agree with you that sports is something which really needs to find its own sunlight in today's education scenario. Invariably, people think of it as an extra subject or free period में चले जाना बच्चों को लेकर के. There's not much of thought process that goes behind which faculty is appointed. But I was fortunate enough to be associated with a management which understands and which really focuses on this. So at Dhruv, we have a very different kind of philosophy. We feel that the children should come to school to have fun, to enjoy, and within that we amalgamate our academics. So every child at Dhruv definitely plays once in a day, definitely. Every child at Dhruv has an occasion or the freedom to be a part of performing arts or a visual arts aspect. Because you see, sports is one thing, but there is something called an emotional side also. So that comes with creativity. So around the academics, our child does indulge in sports, visual and performing arts, and that's on a daily basis. It's not as if the sports period is going to happen once a week or twice a week. This is a daily routine with every single Dhruvian. Swimming is something that we encourage entirely because we believe it's a life skill. So that should happen. And children love that aspect of the school. And therefore, we have noticed that the children who are doing good on the sports field, they invariably tend to do very well where academics are concerned. In fact, my nationalists, I have certain players who have achieved the national level or have been very, very successful at whichever level they're playing. But till date, every one of them has been a topper in academics also. Like my student a couple of years ago, the grade 12th topper, Miss Chinmay, she was a national team player. She went up to nationals. And this is something which happens quite often. We see it being repeated year on year on year. So we firmly believe that sports is something that is crucial to studies. It's not by the way. It's not okay, ye bhi karwa denge. That's not how it works at Dhruv. Dr. Malpani is very clear with his vision that he would like every child to first go on to the sports field and then enter the classroom. It's not really been technically possible, logistically possible, but the first time if they don't go within the day, it's definite that the child will be on the sports field. And that is why we have a very robust infrastructure. We have indoor sports because Pune, where we are located, and especially the hills, it rains a lot. It's raining outside today also, so it rains a lot. So we need things where a child doesn't miss out because of a rainy day. So our sports is primarily indoors. The swimming pool, it's a temperature controlled swimming pool, which is indoors. Badminton courts and basketball courts are indoors. Our shooting range, in fact, the management is so proactive in this arena that we had a 5-lane shooting range. So after a couple of years, we started telling it's not really working out for us. We need more place. We need more place. And it's not really it's very heavy on the pocket when you have to put up something of that nature. So Mr. Yashovardhan Malpani, who's behind the force behind the schools right now. So he said, yeah, the children need it. They definitely need it. So an entire new shooting range was built recently, and today, this is the first year the new one will be, the children are playing in that. So the whole idea is that the children get a lot of opportunities. In fact, just 3 days back, my children came back with 80 athletic medals in the district, 80. So that just shows, and all of these are doing well, and they are also, we are going through an exam cycle right now. So our term exams are also happening, and these things are also happening None of my children come back to me stating that we have to study, so we can't do this. None of the parents come back to us stating that this is midterm examinations, half yearly examinations. Why are you sending our children out to play? The thought process has evolved over time that if a child is playing, the child will do well because discipline comes in. A sense of togetherness and camaraderie comes in. So when they go out to play also, many children sit together with their books and they will revise and study over there. They will help each other doing that. So that leadership comes into play, resilience comes into play. So all these things make it a very interesting part at Dhruv. Yeah, we're very excited about how we are doing things, and there's so much more to learn. We have learned a lot from you. You have been our consultant for a good number of years now. And the way you coach the children, the way you make them understand, the parents especially, because you were talking about challenges. Now what happens is, I see majorly 2-3 challenges. Number one, academics versus sports. The moment we remove that versus and we make it academics and sports, the whole scenario changes. So there the school has to be willing to step in. So we do give a lot of leeway to our sports children. We allow them to take examinations here and there. We allow them to average out their marks. We allow them to go from school early if they have some practices going on. We allow them to come and sit with our teachers, study extra if it's required. So, the reason why the second challenge is the parent says, खेल बहुत हो गया, अभी पढ़ाई करो. So that thought process of now you've had enough of games, now you sit and study. We wanted to work on that, and the only way to do it is that the school has to be willing to take that extra step. So our teachers are geared up for it. They're willing to walk that extra mile. Children are aware of the fact, and parents are aware of the fact, that if a child misses school, there would be somebody to teach the concept again. And the child himself or herself becomes so self-motivated that they start studying on their own. So it's working out. It's a win-win situation for everybody. That works. So parent and thought process of why is my child playing so much? The school involvement must go up. That we are willing to do that extra effort for our sportsmen or our creative art team, whichever way we look at it. My children went for the elementary exam for the arts recently. It was on the day of the examination, the midday of the examination. They're fine doing that. They know that we can study. So we have not taught our children that, okay, today is an exam day, everything else has to come to a halt. So for our PT examinations or otherwise, children write their exams, go and play and move on. So it's not as if exam hai to aur kuch nahi hoga. That mindset needs to change. It's a part of life.
Correct.
Exams can't be learnt on the final day. Then, I feel for the sports part, infrastructure. We really need help with infrastructure. So if the government could help with certain places, if we could have centralized infrastructure which was worth its name. Because when we go to different countries, we see there is a very beautiful facility in the center of any housing area or a society or suburban areas. So they have the time, the facility, the infrastructure made by the government to go and polish their skills, which I think we need to develop more. And that needs to go in. So government funding could be a big support if that happens. But yes, there is no two ways about it that sports is an entire life frame also. You really have taught us that. You have taught us how sports can become something which can lead a child's life. You have been teaching the children about sports entrepreneurship. So with that part of it, they have come back to us stating, yeah, we can make our life in sports also. They go back home to their parents and tell them, don't worry, I can make money from this also. That mindset change is important.
What are your plans or your future plans or Dhruv Global School future plans to develop sports at the school level where they can reach at the greater heights, not only playing for CBSE but playing for nationals, internationals, and become bringing glory for the country? And what type of support you think you or the school should require it from a CBSE or government, which can strengthen your dreams, because you are doing so much for at the grassroots level, but the supports can actually make it more strengthen your dreams. So what will be that?
Definitely, Mr. Bhushan, because we try a lot at our level, but then again, our knowledge is a bit limited in this. It would be great if CBSE or the government could update us or our coaches about it. We are very good with the professional development of our faculty, academic faculty. So if similar kind of programs or training programs could be there, made available there for our sports coaches, it would really help, because there's a dearth of knowledge right now. We all know, okay, there's a taluka level, there's a district level, you go for certain sports, you go through all these levels one by one. But you told us and you brought it to us, we were not aware of it, that there are world games. And there are places like disc flying, tug of war, tug of games, and you mentioned a couple of others? Bowls and others. So these are a better, shorter and a straighter path to taking it international, which we were not aware of. So if there are, because see, one of the biggest problems is that it's a very long-term investment. 5 years, 10 years, life goes into investment for sports. So you showed us the path that there are world games also, where a shorter duration, intensive input can create the same output. A child can go to the international level also. So now we are lucky to have you as a consultant. So you're guiding us step by step. But not everybody would have that. So if CBSE or the government could ensure that these trainings for the sports faculty also happen, the BP.Ed and MP.Ed courses, if they could be upgraded, if they could be more in line, in sync with what is actually happening on ground in the world, it would really help. Then, as I mentioned earlier, infrastructure, because not everybody has it. So infrastructure is a very important thing, and then how to use that infrastructure also. That's very, very important. So there are certain steps, concrete steps that can be taken, and I think it is the need of the hour, because the focus on academics has always been there. But we are a country with a huge amount of talent. There is no dearth of talent. If you go around, walking around everywhere, you'll find somebody who can be a marathon runner, who could be the next PT Usha, we could pick up from somewhere, and Narang we could pick from somewhere. So much guidance, lack of proper opportunities. Now, just a case in point, the children had to go for the CBSE national games. I understand CBSE has its own limitations. Now they are actually catering to the entire country, smallest nook and corner of the country. So it's not easy. It's easy for us to sit over here and say ki wo ye bhi karenge aur wo bhi karenge. But then it comes to us also. We should put in effort. Why does CBSE have to do everything? But the fact that the games are arranged in certain areas which are miles and miles away, children have to travel overnight, by flight, by train. In privileged schools, it's a possibility. But the talent is not just here. The talent is at different places also. There, this lack of amenities, this lack can become detrimental. So yeah, if we could have some kind of things in place, which would be training camps closer to home, maybe the who's who of the sporting world could come to smaller areas and maybe have small camps, talk to the children, have intensive training camps. There's a lot that can be done because we have the people to do it. So yeah, if we could think in those directions, maybe things would move ahead faster.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for taking out time and sharing your insights on sports, developments and the challenges which you are facing. And I hope this podcast can reach out to millions and it can help the schools at different levels altogether. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Bhushan. And let me tell you here that it's been a pleasure having you around, because you have brought our sports, which we used to do in a very professional manner. We have not reached there. I have a group of 30 plus coaches, but we haven't reached there. But you're guiding my students, my teachers to a place where I feel confident that they will do well. It wasn't my field, it's yours. So having somebody training us and taking us there, it matters a lot. So thank you for that and thank you for this.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Namaste.